Right, here we go. This one's had the injector job done somewhere else in South Australia with the owl. And this video is going to be a quick one. Generally, the sort of things I'll check on an injector job, whether we've done it on our final checks, just going around the engine bay, try and keep it down to a few minutes. And of course, it's all I can see. If someone else has done it, I'm limited to what I can see. So the sort of things I'm going to look at to make sure they or we haven't forgotten or messed anything up. I'm going to have a look along the valve cover for any sort of oil leaks after a good long road test, front and back. So just having a look around, you know, around the head, that sort of thing, each side of the head. Works better if the light's on. Anyway, all the plugs plugged on properly on the injectors. The clips, that black one there, that wasn't pushed back into the cover. This one here, probably just pull out. Yeah, that's all secure, that's good. The wiring loom itself, like I was sort of doing before, I like to, before I put it back down, I like to just sort of rework it and push it so it sits in that slot how it's meant to, like that, because otherwise they sit back here like this and see how it's rubbing on there. And there's not a lot you can do about it, but it's easier while all these clips are out to make sure it sits right. But we didn't do this one. Make sure all these clips are in, the wiring is in here. Right, 1, 2, 3, all good. MAF sensor should have been cleaned. This one's pretty responsive. I'm not sure if it's maybe had a tune and, like, you know, maybe that got done as well. I can't see a throttle controller and it's kind of really responsive. And when I give it a bit of a rev, it does blow a bit of smoke, and probably more than I'd expect if it had new injectors, right? So, look, I don't think they would have lied and given out an invoice. Would they? They wouldn't do that, would they? Yeah, stop laughing, okay? So I don't think so. They certainly didn't replace the fuel pipes, okay? I'm not going to check the torque on the fuel pipes. I'm not getting involved in reusing fuel pipes. Now, the problem with it is new injectors, new fuel pipes. It says it bold in the repair manual, Toyota genuine procedures. What we don't know is, were the valve clearances checked at 40 and 80? That would mean the pipes got used on the new car, again at 40, again at 80. And then when they change injectors, if they'd never been off any other time, fourth time the pipes have been used on different injectors. So it's just luck if they don't leak. Did they torque them up? What did they torque them to? Did they just crank them? Are they over tightened? Are they a bit loose? Are they going to leak soon? This is all things with question marks that I can't check. I can't be just torquing them, retorquing them, seeing if they're tight. I don't want to touch them. Now, if you saw our other videos you've been watching, there was 2 of these bolts loose, this one and the one at the other side wasn't tightened up. Did you see anything else while we're working on this? Anything else I forgot besides this?
Yeah, just tighten up the injector clamps.
The clamp, these ones up here, yeah? Did you do those, yeah?
Yeah, tightened up.
Okay, cool. So that was a bit loose slided.
This one.
Yeah, so they just didn't put it factory the way we like it. Okay, but I'm going to have a bit more. So they're the sort of things, of course, the clamps up there. The clamp, see that clamp there? There's a back and a front to it, and the nuts, make sure that's there. Obviously they need to be torqued up down at the common array as well. Hard to get to, hard to see what's going on. Check number 4 fuel pipe where it comes through, that it's got the clamp on it. I'll try and get down there and show you what I'm talking about. I don't know if I can, but hard to maneuver a camera. But see that clamp on the fuel pipe, see that black bit of rubber? I can't get my other hand down there. Let me keep trying, give me a sec. There it is, right? See that one there? Make sure that clamp's there and that bolt's there on number 4 fuel pipe. That's one of the other checks. You got to make sure it's tight, because maybe they can vibrate loose. Other things I like to check is, see this cover plate here, just check those nuts as well. Of course, that the map filter's on and connected both sides the right way around, so that should be pushed all the way up. Same at the bottom there, so it's pushed pretty much all the way in, a little bit off because they are a bit short, and if you pull them in too much, it can kink this a bit. So about there's good. Just make sure it's on at the other end as well. Yeah, looks reasonable, that's good. Same thing on the bottom of this. This is something that can slip off sometimes. People will lose boost and get a code and get all panicked. Just got to pop that line back on. If there's a bit of oil on it, try and clean it. Otherwise, it could just slip off against a sticker rag and something small in the hole of the vacuum line, and then wipe the plastic off the bottom of the map sensor. Put the line back on. Check these clamps here. This one here, make sure this hose isn't blowing down. Generally, you don't have to check the other side, but you can have a check if you like. All the sorts of things that come off, yeah? So all the nuts and bolts, if you've done the EGR, that bolt at the top there, that 12 mil right in the middle there. These throttle body nuts and bolts, one at the bottom, other one at the bottom there somewhere, hiding, trying to get it on a, you know where it is, it's in there, there it is. On the 120, on the 150, this bracket here in the stay looks like the right bolt. So they've done a pretty good job, but was pretty good enough leaving things loose. And like I said, what else have they done inside the engine? So check. Make sure the coolant temperature sensor's plugged in. That's clipped in there. Check. You know, you can obviously see that. You can also check this one, even if you didn't take it off. Just check this one, make sure it's not slipped down. If it is, back that off a bit if you can get to it with a battery there. Lucky this one hasn't got a battery. And put it back up and just nip it up nicely. You can also have a look at the E-jar cooler bolts, make sure that's there. You know how the E-jar cooler cracks, probably one of the most important ones. You can't see it down under here. So I'll just get the camera again and just... that one there, make sure it's there and tight when you do the job. So your final checks, this is probably a good job for final checks. We'll call it final checks after doing your injector replacement, but it doesn't replace the lengthy videos in the VIP group and getting the injector kit from me. So I wouldn't be missing that part of it, because no point having counterfeit copies, old fuel pipes like this one has, and having a job with a question mark on it, right? And this, it's got a question mark on it. We don't know if the injectors are new or not. We don't know how dirty those pipes were. Those dirty old pipes, when they made contact with the new injectors, everything could be fine. It's just unknown. All these plugs, the brown plug in behind there, check that. Plug up on the top there, make sure there's no wiring looms aftermarket stuff rubbing on top of it, like that one nearly is, right? But it's okay. Check all that stuff, those vacuum lines, more vacuum lines there, more vacuum lines down here, the pink and the yellow, right? Make sure they're on in the right way. And if you've done the manifold down the bottom, the green and the white, plus that one on the vacuum actuator there, make sure that one's on. Don't forget the bolts in your stay or the bracket for the inlet manifold. So again, down here. Oop, what do I do there? I don't know. Yeah, anyway, that bolt there, and there's one down the other end of it. Might have been loosened off. Yeah, oh no, that's what I can think of at the moment. So pretty much everything looks good. I'm just going to go a bit over it, obviously not on the video, and have a bit more of a look around. We've just done a radiator replacement, so as a bonus tip for the people that hung around a bit longer, we'll go through the sort of things that I'll check when we do a radiator replacement or a BFE. Get rid of this other light, we don't need that. Of course, the 4 main mounting bolts, check. Radiator hoses, clamps onto things like this. Bolts of the 3 bolts that hold this tank to the shroud, the bolts holding the shroud to the radiator. So that one, and obviously the ones around the other side. Just double check all your clamps. If you took the one off the other end of this hose, this clamp here, make sure it's sitting the right way. That clamp there, hose is on, happy days. And again, the nuts and bolts around this side. Down there for the mounting of that, and you know, whatever. It's pretty straightforward. And also make sure your fan shroud's clipped in on the radiator. It slides in a slot at each side down the bottom. And like I said, the mounting bolts, and that's about it. You change your intercooler while it's out. You can't really check that now. Make sure you've got all your plastic trims and everything back in the front the way it was. Check bleed your coolant, just let it idle. Have this top cap here, have this one off, right? This cap off. Fill it up. It's going to take at least 7 litres. That's the minimum I'm going to tell you with a radiator or a water pump or something like that. A radiator maybe 7. If it's nice and clean, you don't need to worry about block plugs and flushing and all that, because it's already clean. Once the car's a bit older, just do it every couple of years. Any excuse, changing a radiator, changing a turbo, whatever you're doing, manifold clean with injector job, just drop it and refill it with the genuine stuff. And then let it idle till it reaches operating temperature with those caps off. Should be all happy and relaxed, and then, you know, top it up to about, I like to have a little bit extra in there to the seam. Once you think you're done, let it all cool down, caps on, and you know, there's a video on how to bleed the cooling system. Anyway, that's enough waffle for now. What's it called? Yap. Too much yapping. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell, and we'll catch you in the next video. See ya.